All right, this is the class activity for physical changes versus chemical changes. So the purpose of this activity is to practice identifying between physical changes and chemical changes. So each of these sections are going to have a different set of instructions. Just follow those instructions to complete this assignment. So you can see there's going to be reference video right here. That's where this video will go. There's also going to be a demo that you will need later, the carbon sugar snake experiment. And there is also a video here that just describes chemical or physical changes versus chemical changes if you need additional help. There's also the questions that you need to ask yourself in order for the physical changes and chemical changes. So let's just go ahead and do this first section. So for each example, answer each question with the checkboxes to determine whether each scenario is a chemical or physical change. The boxes won't turn green until the entire question is correct. So I'm going to go 2 examples down here. I'm going to do number 7 and number 8. So one is chopping wood and one is going to be burning wood. So if I need a hint, I can click on this hint, right? Is it the same substance or was something new created? So chopping a wood. So let's see here. Let's see what questions I can ask this, right? So it didn't change color, doesn't produce gas, no new precipitate, doesn't release energy, doesn't create anything new. Just because you chop the wood does not mean that you're creating something different. The wood is just changing shape and size. All right. So we know it's going to be a physical change because I did answer at least one question on this side, right? There's none that are going to be true over here because it's not a chemical change. But there's going to be more over here, right? Because or sometimes there's more than one. Now, if it is a physical change, this bottom one is always going to be true. It's still the same substance. Okay, so it just works out that those are the only 2 that were correct, and it was a physical change. Good. Now let's do the next one, and the hint is still the same. Is it the same substance or was something new created? So burning wood, right? So let's look at these questions, right? So it does change color, right? So I can check mark that. So I know it's going to be a chemical change, right? We're creating something new here, right? So I know it's going to be some sort of a chemical change because at least one was true on this side. Now I have to get them, I have to get all of them in order for this to turn correct. So I shouldn't have anything on physical changes, right? Did it produce a gas? Well, yeah, it produces a smell. You can smell it. Not a precipitate. You don't have a chunky solid at the bottom. We're not mixing solutions. Does it release energy as light? Okay, yeah, I'd say that, right? And what else? Well, here's another hint. If it is a chemical change, this last one will always be true. Did it create something new? Good, right? So now this next section, for each example, answer so all you have to do is determine whether it's a physical or chemical change. So we do that same thing. You can see those questions up there. It might be hard to read. You might have to zoom in, but you do have to get the entire row correct in order for it to turn green. So we can use these questions up here, but this just shortens it. You just have to identify chemical or physical change. So firefly glowing. So I could say that is going to be, well, there is light produced. It is going to be a chemical change, right? Now notice it didn't turn green because I have not gotten this entire row. Now this one, an apple is cut. Well, that one's going to be physical because it just changed shape and size. It's going to be the same thing. The apple, it's an apple. It's just changed. The sizes. So those are examples of how to do that. These are fairly easy. Remember, you do have to get the entire row correct in order for it to turn green and for you to get the points. Now, these last few, this last section, determine whether each scenario is a physical or chemical change, then pick the main reason why. So like we saw in that first section, there are going to be, sometimes many reasons. There are many check boxes, but this is going to check the main reason why. So making a peanut, pretzel, and cereal mixture. Well, I can say that's not going to change anything. That's just a physical thing. And I can look at my drop down and I can see that it only changed, it's still the same substance. We only made a mixture, right? We only mixed ingredients, but they did not react to each other. Let's see here. How about this one, right? So copper turns green when exposed to the environment. Well, I'm gonna choose that's chemical because the main reason why is it changed color, right? It changed color, right? So you're gonna do that for all of them, and you do have to get the type of change and the reason why correct in order to receive points for those questions. Now, this last section is the same thing we did in the first section. Except this one, there is a video that goes to it. You can see the video here, but I also wrote out the scenario here. So this is making the carbon sugar snake. So you can watch that video that does the demo. And like there are two different parts to it, right? Mixing 20 grams of sugar and 5 grams of baking soda together in a bag, and the fuel burns and decomposes the sugar and makes something new, right? So you're going to do that, and just tell me why. Which one's physical, which one's chemical, and just tell me why. All right. So once again, this is the physical changes versus chemical changes class activity.